We start off in a dream where we are guarding an outpost. We get attacked by some Dark Ones and end up killing the other guards. Getting touched by the Dark One, we wake up in a military base known as D6.
No wonder. After all you've been
Khan tells us that he has spotted a surviving Dark One in the botanical gardens and we have to go find it.
of the Dark One's hive.
Making our way over to Miller, we learn that a man named Lesnitsky has disappeared with something from the lab.
Come with me. All right.
Meeting with Miller to discuss the matter, he sends us to kill the creature and sends his daughter Anna to help us.
We'll send a sniper.
Khan objects as he wants to save the Dark One and is escorted out. We then take the monorail with Anna to the gardens.
Let's move.
Climbing out of the tunnels and into the area, we fight a few creatures and head into the destroyed home of the Dark Ones. Chasing after the baby Dark One, we get knocked out by touching each other and end up captured by the Nazi forces that were patrolling the area. Just before being executed by the enemy forces, we are saved by another captured man named Pavel, who is a soldier of the Red Line. Making our way through the enemy-infested area, we run through a civilian area of the camp and escape on a rail bike. Leaving the rail bike, Pavel is captured by some of the Reich soldiers and we must sneak our way through the outpost to help our new friend. Catching up to Pavel, we kill 2 enemy soldiers and save our friend from the noose. Escaping the outpost and into the tunnels, we must fight our way through a spider-infested area as the Nazis cut off the lights. Arriving on the surface, we make our way through the wreckage of a plane that crashed while the bombs were dropping. Reliving the experience and almost suffocating, we grab Pavel and head towards the theater station. Stocking up and watching the theater performance, we sit down with Pavel for a drink and find that we've been double-crossed and sent to the Red Line headquarters. Captured by the communists, we are beaten by the Secretary General Moskvin and General Corbett. Waking up from the interrogation, we see Moskvin's son untie us and tell us to take the vents to escape. Reaching the end of the tunnel, we meet with our old friend Andrew the blacksmith, who gives us an armored rail car to go find Pavel in Venice. Trying to beat Pavel to the baby Dark One that we found, we reach a small camp of people who are scared of a group of bandits in the tunnels ahead. Killing the bandits and freeing some of the captured civilians, we crash our rail car and have to defend ourselves from a horde of monsters as we wait for a nearby fisherman to save us. Making our way through the waters, we see some new enemies the fisherman calls shrimp. They become hostile and we must protect the boat in order to make it to Venice. Arriving at the station, we look for Pavel, who is supposed to be here as part of his mission. Exploring the local brothel, we try to eavesdrop on Pavel, but get cut off by one of the local talent. Making our way through the storage area, we kill a few Red Line soldiers and find Pavel, but lose him as one of the locals busts in the room. The local leads us up to the surface where we traverse the swamps. Looking for some fuel to get across a body of water, we fight a few monsters and grab some supplies. Reaching the other side, we make our way through the fog to a broken building where we find a radio with Anna telling us to meet her at the church outpost. Making our way through the rest of the swamp, we're attacked by a water beast just before reaching the outpost. Taking the creature down, we head inside for a rest. Gearing up to head into the catacombs of the church, we're stopped by a knock at the door. A group of red soldiers and Lesnitsky bust through the door and take Anna hostage as they head down into the depths of the church. Making our way through the dimly lit area, we fight numerous monsters and ultimately get flushed further into the caves from a flooded room. Making our way through the area, we find ourselves in a station being torn apart by the Red Forces due to an infection that had broken out. Reaching the other end, we free Anna from Lesnitsky's grasp and head up the escalator to group up with a team who is going to check us for infection. Getting a little friendly with Anna, we make our way through the quarantine zone, learning that the virus was a bioweapon used to exterminate the people of the station. Meeting up with Khan, we take the back exit to find the Dark One. We head to the River of Fate with Khan to try to help us find the Dark One. Entering the river, we experience all sorts of visions telling us where the Dark One is being held. Reaching a rail bike at the end of the path, we head towards the train that has the child captive. Fighting through some more communist soldiers, we find the Dark One on the train who shares a vision with us. In the vision, we are a child and are saved by a Dark One who then communicates with us. Bringing the Dark One to the surface, he joins us on our journey to Polis to try and stop the Red Line's plan to attack D6. On our journey, the Dark One helps us locate creatures and find items for us as we traverse a bridge leading into the city. Coming across a warehouse, we are faced with a large group of Reds that are looking for us. Making our way around them, we find Lesnitsky in the end and use the Dark One to learn of his plans with the Red Line. We learn that Lesnitsky stole this virus that was used from the lab at D6 and joined up with the Red Line.
Now it is your turn, comrade. And you will have to handle it.
We also find out that Pavel will be at the Red Square, which isn't too far from our current position.
Do not.
Making our way through the city, we see flashbacks of people that used to live there and stock up on as many supplies as we can find.
Опа! One more!
Heading past the cathedral and avoiding the dangerous winds, we arrive at an ambush led by Pavel. We subdue our old friend and infiltrate his mind with the help of the Dark One. We learn that General Corbett wants to use the virus on the entire metro, but needs to take D6 first. While everyone is at the conference in Polis, the Red Line will be launching an attack to control D6. Heading through the garden, we fight a giant mutated bear that wants to protect its cubs, and once we've reached the other side, we meet Miller and Khan and introduce them to the Dark One. Using the Dark One's powers with Khan, we learn that inside one of the locked vaults of D6 is a group of Dark Ones waiting to be released.
He is not a boss. Yes.
Taking the Dark One with us to Polis, we use him to make Secretary General Moskvin tell everyone the Red Line's plan, alerting them to Corbett's attack.
I thought he wanted.
Rushing everyone to D6, we set up the defenses and get ready to fight Corbett's men and save the military bunker. Fighting through waves of men, we are finally stopped by an incoming train that crashes through the area. Laying on the ground with Miller nearby, we see Corbett basking in his success. Miller tells us to detonate the bombs that will destroy D6, so we lunge over to the control panel and grab the switch. Just as we're about to activate the explosives, we see a group of Dark Ones materialize around the enemy soldiers, and the little Dark One tells us that there's no need to destroy the facility.
No need for that now.
Ullman died.
We
Like
learn
most
that
of his
Ullman
followers.
dies and Miller is now head of the Polis
Survived
Guards.
and is now in charge of Polis.
Khan disappears and leaves us with some wise words as we watch the group of Dark Ones head off into the city.
The Dark Ones are.
I hope this video clears up some of the story for you guys as Metro Exodus is coming out soon. And if you haven't already, check out my video on Metro 2033 for what happens before the events of Last Light.
Maybe.
And thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys for some Metro Exodus after the release.
Maybe we did earn forgiveness.